And away we go. The Scorched Earth podcast, the sports side. Here we are, Tuesday, 28th of the beautiful year 2025. And the Super Bowl is set. Philadelphia versus Kansas City. Just can't believe we're here. I got to be honest, I'm still stunned Detroit isn't in there. I guess the injuries just caught him. I was really rooting for it. All those fans who had never been to a Super Bowl. God, they were so close. All right. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Get here before Brother Brian does, 2 weeks. And leave your comments. I want to know what you have to think. All right. I'm going to go over some statistics. This week I'm going to Vegas. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the different prop bets from the different organizations. I'm going to go through Circa, going to go through the Superbook, probably MGM, whatever. And I'm going to go through and highlight maybe 5 or 10 of the bets I think are best after I do a little research. Like I said, I've been gambling for 35 years. Heck, I can remember back in the day, in the 80s, when there was no props. And I remember seeing when Washington played Denver in the Super Bowl. It was the first time I saw different point spreads. And going into that game, Denver was a favorite. And I took Washington minus 3.5. That was the Doug Williams game. I think he just threw another touchdown pass. It was forever. And I got, I think it was plus 170 or something like that. And I was stunned. I mean, the first prop I ever remember seeing was Refrigerator Perry to score a touchdown. And I didn't really even understand it. Back then, you were just, you were taking the total or you're taking a side. And man, I'm telling you, I go to Vegas every year for the Super Bowl. And I usually go up at the beginning of the first week so I can you got better odds. I mean, they just start growing. And I will tell you, if you ever get a chance out there, go to Vegas. Forget New Year's. Go for the Super Bowl and get there on Thursday night. And I'm going to give you some advice. This is from a veteran gambler, is make your bets Friday, make your bets Saturday, and then go out and party your head off on Saturday night and don't get back to your hotel room till 5 o'clock. I'm telling you, when you think you don't want another shot, take another shot. I'm telling you right now. And the reason is you want to wake up right when the game starts. You literally want them to shake you out of the coma. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you wake up at 11, you go get some breakfast, and then you start walking around, you will find 40 more bets to bet. You'll go, oh, wow, that's 22 to 1. Let me just throw $40 on that. Or let me tell you, that I have this rule when I'm in town for the Super Bowl. All my bets have to be done by noon on Saturday. That's it. And I let it go. At that point, you have money management. And believe me, it is so enticing to go, oh, that's 30 to 1. Oh, that guy scoring the first touchdown's 12 to 1, Don't. Do your due diligence. Bet it by Saturday afternoon. Because if you are anywhere around a sportsbook or an online betting facility, you will burn a hole in your pocket. All right. That's my advice from a veteran gambler. Take it as you will. All right. This year, the Eagles were 13-7 against the spread. Kansas City, 8-11. We're seeing the same thing. The Chiefs are rounding into form. I remember last year, they lost the Christmas Day to the Raiders. And then they roared through it. Are we going to see the reincarnation of that? Or part 2? Sure looks like it. Here's some angles. Interesting. And this is going to come into effect for the prop bets. And I haven't heard this anywhere else. On Sunday, between the Eagles and the Chiefs, they had 10 successful fourth down attempts. That is insane. I mean, there's usually a prop Will they convert a fourth down? And usually you're laying 170, 190. In today's NFL, they're probably going to say, do they have to convert two? But these numbers, forget Washington. We're looking at Kansas City and Philadelphia. 10 on Sunday between the two teams. Interesting fact, Bills Chiefs was DraftKings' biggest handle for any game that was in their history that wasn't a Super Bowl. Man, they must have had some cash on that. Some real cash. And God forbid if it would have went to 3. Back in the day, I remember the Gold Coast. Love the Gold Coast. But they had a prop, and I think it was the Bills and the Redskins. And the line was the Redskins by 7. And they had a prop. They had the prop on the board out in front of the casino in 40-foot high letters that said Bills plus 7.5, Redskins minus 6.5. And the game it wasn't on the line. But I've always wondered, what is going to happen if the Super Bowl falls on the number? Kind of like the Pittsburgh-Dallas game. The number was 4. It was 3.5, 4, 4.5, and it fell on 4. That's the only time it's ever happened in the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, we might find some of these companies going for Chapter 11 because that hit would be astronomical. But you know what? The sports books and these online betting entities, they're so smart. They're never going to do that. They are just going to hedge. They are just way too sophisticated. And also something I really can't stand is if you're a professional gambler and you're winning, they actually have algorithms looking at their own customers to see how they're winning. And if you win too much, Bill Walters, Lem Banker, people like that, they cut you off. It's like, wow, I'm too good at my job, so they say I got to quit. I'm Ronaldo. I'm a soccer player. I'm too good. Yeah, you're banned from La Liga. Whatever. I don't really know what this stat means, but it is a stat. Teams that score first won 65% of the time. Obviously, you got to figure out who wins the coin toss. Who's going to call heads, who's going to call tails, what it's going to be. I know tails has won considerably, but I guess we'll just see. That's just a stat for a stat state. Teams that win the Super Bowl, now listen to this stat, that win the Super Bowl are 48-7-2. That's an 87% clip. Now, what I'm saying is pick the winner. Now, sometimes the underdog just wins straight out. Tom Brady against Patrick Mahomes, Seattle against Peyton Manning in Denver. You just have to pick the winner. Now, with a 1.5 or 2 point spread, it is really a choice. But remember this. All you're going to hear from these people, these gambling gurus, is, the value and this and that. The spread really doesn't matter. It doesn't. Only in 13% of the Super Bowls has it ever mattered. Pick the winner. Pick the winner. Here's an interesting stat. The team that rushes for the most yards in the Super Bowl wins and covers. The record is 40-14-3. Philadelphia's got an incredible rushing offense. You look at Saquon Barkley. I'm on the Chiefs, I think. I'm on the Mahomes thing, but boy, that stat right there scares the bejesus out of me. And I don't know if Spagnuolo can stop Barkley. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. But man, that is a sobering thing. We're going to put that in combination with the next one. Teams that allowed the fewer points per game in the regular season have won 7 out of the last 8. Philadelphia allowed 17.9 points per game this year. Kansas City was in 4th at 19.1. I think these two statistics really trend well for Philadelphia. The only problem is, I hate it when people go with their gut feelings, but at the end of the day, when you're in the Super Bowl and you're betting your hard-earned money, do you really want to bet on Jalen Hurts? Do you want to bet on him versus Patrick Mahomes? I mean, how many times did we sit there and go, the Patriots aren't that good? You were betting on Brady against Jared Goff, Matt Ryan. That's what you were betting on. The team wasn't better. I still to this day think that Ram team was better than the Patriots. They got out-coached, not arguing, but it was Brady. I watched Mahomes this weekend, and on that game-winning drive for the field goal, he made a couple great plays. And you know what those plays were? He threw the ball away. He didn't try and force it. And he just had, they didn't convert. They didn't get a touchdown. They got the field goal. Don't get me wrong. Butker made it. But that's where Hurts seems to be having a problem lately, is he's taking sacks. Now, granted, they're going to be indoors. They're going to be booming 60-yarders. But, boy, there's something wrong with Hurts. I know he had a good game. He had the best game he's had in months. But he's just taking too many sacks. There's something on. And Patrick Mahomes takes some sacks, but they just don't seem as critical as when Hurts does. All right. So tomorrow I'll be in Vegas. I'll be going through some prop bets. I'm going to be going through prop bets all week. And we're going to find some winners, and we're going to fill that bank with enough money that your old lady can go on Amazon and shop and shop and shop until next Super Bowl. All right. Hit the subscribe button. Please leave some comments, and I will see you from Vegas tomorrow.